In this video, we're going to take a look at Amazon Managed Streaming for Apache Kafka, or MSK, and understand what it actually does for you on AWS. When we say streaming data, we're talking about a continuous flow of smaller pieces of data that never really stops. Think of things like app events, sensor reading, or website clicks that keep coming in as long as the application is running. There's no real beginning or end point like a file. It's just constant, ongoing data. Typical use cases for this kind of data includes things like collecting logs from many servers so you can detect issues quickly, tracking users' actions in a mobile app to improve the user experience, or processing payments and other transactions in near real time so you can react faster to what's happening in your business. So what is Apache Kafka in simple terms? Apache Kafka is an open source platform that designs to handle this kind of real-time streaming data. It can take an event stream from many different sources at the same time, like applications, services, or devices. Once those events are in Kafka, other applications called consumers can read the data and process it in the same order as it was produced, which is important when you care about the sequence of events. The challenge with Apache Kafka is that running it yourself can be quite complex, especially when you want to handle large-scale clusters and large traffic. You need to provision servers, manage storage, setting up monitoring, apply patches and upgrades, and handle failures in the cluster. All of this takes time, expertise, and ongoing operational effort. This is where Amazon MSK comes in. Amazon MSK is a fully managed Apache Kafka for you on AWS. That means AWS sets up and maintains the Kafka cluster so you can focus more on producing and consuming the data, instead of worrying about the underlying infrastructure. Now let's break down some of the key characteristics of Amazon MSK. Well, first of all, as we just mentioned, AWS handles the provisioning and configuration of the Kafka cluster for you, which means instead of you manually creating and configuring Kafka brokers on EC2 instances or such thing, AWS creates a Kafka cluster for you with best practice settings. You only choose a few high-level options like how big you want the cluster to be, and MSK takes care of the detailed setup behind the scenes. Second, AWS manages operations, upgrades, and patches as well. With self-managed Kafka, you would have to plan downtimes or rolling upgrades yourself whenever there is a new Kafka version or security patch in place. But with MSK, AWS is responsible for applying updates and keeping the service healthy all the time. Third, MSK monitors and replaces unhealthy nodes. In a traditional Kafka cluster, if a broker fails, you need to detect it, replace it, and rebalance the data. With MSK, AWS monitors the health of the cluster, and if a node becomes unhealthy, MSK can replace it for you as part of the managed service. Fourth, MSK can scale up or down when needed. If your workload grows or you need more capacity, you don't have to manually set up a new Kafka broker from scratch. You can just adjust the size, and the service will handle adding or removing brokers so you can match your capacity to your current demand. Now you might be thinking, with all the mentioned benefits that we just talked about, you may say this sounds a bit like Amazon Kinesis, and that's a great observation. Both MSK and Kinesis are used for handling streaming data, but there is an important difference in how you choose between them. Amazon Kinesis is AWS's native streaming family, and it's great if you want a fully AWS integrated solution without needing Kafka-specific features or tools. For example, you might use Kinesis data streams when you're building a new streaming application and you're fine with using AWS's own APIs and ecosystem. But Amazon MSK is for customers who specifically want to use Apache Kafka. Maybe your team already knows Kafka, or you're using Kafka-based tools, or you want to migrate an existing Kafka workload into AWS. MSK lets you keep using Kafka with its API and ecosystem, but offloads the heavy lifting of running and operating the Kafka cluster. So you can think of it this way. Both services work with the streaming data, but Kinesis is the AWS's native option, while MSK is the managed option for people who prefer Kafka. Now let's look at a simple example use case to make this even more concrete for you. Imagine you have an online game where thousands of players are constantly sending game events like moves, scores, chat messages in real time. These events are produced by the game servers and sent into Amazon MSK. Then, different consumer applications read and process this stream of events. One consumer might update live leaderboards, another might detect cheating patterns, and another might store analytic data for later reporting, but all of these powered by MSK handling the real-time event stream in the background. Okay, for the final section, to summarize the key points you should take away, we can say Amazon MSK is a fully managed Apache Kafka service on AWS. You don't need to install or manage Kafka yourself. It's designed for real-time streaming data from many event sources and lets multiple consumers process that data as it arrives. It reduces operational complexity by handling provisioning, configuration, monitoring, patching, and replacing unhealthy nodes, and it helps you scale your cluster as your workload changes. It's a great choice if you specifically want Kafka. Use MSK when you or your organization prefer Apache Kafka or already use Kafka, and use Amazon Kinesis if you're happy with AWS's native streaming options and you don't need Kafka compatibility. Alright, that is it for this video, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.